Archangel Michael says, "The clock is down to 2 minutes and the veil between what you suspect and what is true is thinning." The air feels electric around you, like a storm building in silence, one breath at a time. Do not speak this aloud, this message is sealed only to your heart. A door you thought was closed has been quietly opening every night while you slept. On the other side stands the person your soul kept naming in secret, even when your mouth stayed quiet. This is the moment you finally see why your chest has been heavy lately. Your soulmate carries a truth that glows like a coal wrapped in velvet. It has warmed them in the cold and burned them when they tried to hide it. Tonight, the velvet falls away. They have watched your steps from a distance, learning your rhythm like a song. Each time you chose kindness over pride, the bond tightened another hidden knot. Your soul answered a call you never knew you made. You were guided to this message so you could hear what cannot safely pass through ordinary conversation. Whispered rumors cannot hold the weight of what is coming. Silence is not emptiness here, silence is protection. The storms you survived were not random. They were rehearsals written by grace so your heart could hold this revelation without breaking. You are stronger than the story that tried to fold you. Listen closely now. The truth is both a confession and a key. It opens a future you walked past a dozen times without noticing the doorframe. Your soulmate has been afraid of their own depth. They smiled in rooms that rewarded softness but punished sincerity. They learned to hide their certainty behind jokes, tasks, and busyness. Beneath that mask is a vow that slipped out of them the first day they met you. They told themselves it was imagination. It was not. They kept a token of yours they had no permission to keep. It sits where they can see it when the doubt gets loud. Every time they try to release it, their hands refuse. The path between you has been crowded with echoes and old stories. Some were placed there by those who envy your peace. Some were placed by your own fear to keep you safe from disappointment. But the balance shifts tonight. The knot that held their tongue loosens. The page turns by itself, and the old script can't continue. Their hidden truth is simple and heavy at once. They never stopped choosing you, not even during the days they acted bored or distant. The choice has been the center of their private world. There is something else in their pocket, something small and decisive. It is not always metal, not always gold. Sometimes it is a letter, sometimes a key, sometimes a ring that traveled a long way to arrive quietly. Whatever shape it takes, it carries the same energy, commitment that finally grew brave. You will feel the news before you receive it. Your shoulders will lighten, your breath will slow, your mind will stop the loop it has been running. Grace arrives as stillness. They have been guided by signs that repeated until they could no longer pretend not to see. Numbers aligned, songs returned, strangers said your name, dreams braided your faces together. None of that was coincidence, all of it was curriculum. You have questions that can't be asked out loud yet. You want to look them in the eye and measure the truth against the trembling. Tonight, you measure by peace. Remember the day you almost closed your heart. You laid it on the edge of an ending and waited for it to fall. It didn't, it learned to float. That buoyancy is your proof. Real love doesn't drag you to the bottom, it teaches your lungs how to hold blessing. The one who comes now rises with you. The delays served their purpose. They refine the intention, like fire burnishing metal until it shines. The shine you feel is not boasting, it is readiness. Your soulmate's silence has been full of work. They gathered courage in the hours when no one was watching. They rewrote the story they inherited about what love is allowed to be. Someone around them tried to interfere, to seed doubt with quiet words and loud warnings. The interference slowed nothing, it only clarified what must be protected. You cannot be separated from what is written with your true name. Do not announce this process to anyone who cannot hold it. Sacred things wilt under careless light. Keep your hands cupped around this ember. You will notice small alignments first. A message at a precise minute. A door that opens before you can knock. A voice that steadies before it speaks. They will own their mistakes without drowning in them. They will name the indecision, the fear, the ways they tried to outrun destiny. Then they will stop running. This is not a promise of perfection. This is a promise of presence. Presence is stronger than flawless performance. Your task is clear. Stay open without spilling. Stand soft without crumbling. You will feel a pull to tidy everything in one conversation. Resist the urge to compress a lifetime of truth into a single hour. Let the truth breathe and become part of your daily air. There is an object they've kept that carries your energy. It might be a photo, a note, a small accidental gift. When they return it or reveal it, do not be startled by the familiar warmth. A doorbell, a message tone, or the soft click of a latch, these are the small bells of destiny in motion. You will know by the way your body relaxes, even if your mind tries to rehearse fear. Peace tells the truth first. They have rehearsed what to say. They have failed at rehearsing because the heart refuses scripts. They will speak from the center instead. You will hear your own voice answer from that same center. It will be calm and clean, like water poured without hurry. It will say what is needed and no more. Do not bargain with what is already granted. You are not negotiating for crumbs. You are receiving your portion. The past will knock as soon as the present gets good. Old pain wants attention. Let it knock, you don't have to open. Your soulmate has proof of the shift. Actions that once took a week now happen in an afternoon. The same hands that hesitated are steady. You have changed too. The patience you thought meant waiting actually meant trusting. The trust has built a floor under both of you. Someone from your circle may test this boundary. They will want details to feed their own hunger. Give them none. Not every sacred thing needs a witness. Some bonds glow brighter in the privacy of understanding. You and your person will understand without translation. The truth includes the reason they disappeared. It was not rejection, it was reforming. They needed to become a vessel that wouldn't leak. They will tell you about a night they almost called. They will name the street, the hour, the rain, the memory that stopped them. That memory does not stop them now. There is a place where your names have been carved side by side, not in stone but in time. You have been walking toward it from different directions. Tonight, the paths meet. They are not arriving empty-handed. The offering is not only an object but a decision. The decision is to put both feet in the same life as you. You will feel the lingering doubt try to negotiate its way back in. Smile at it like you might smile at a child who asks for one more story after bedtime. Kiss it goodnight. Do not manage their confession for them. Let them carry the weight of words and feel the relief of finally setting them down. Your job is not to make it easy, your job is to make it true. You will be tempted to catalog every sign you ever noticed. You do not need to prove what is already present. Choose experience over explanation. A shared breath is a contract here. 2 steady inhales will be enough. The room will adjust around the new center. They may ask to visit a place that mattered to you before you knew them. The place will feel changed and the same. That is how destiny feels when it finally arrives where you already are. You will remember a dream you kept forgetting. It returns crisp and bright, revealing the path that was hiding in plain sight. Follow it without hurrying. Your head will try to sprint. Your heart will walk. Your spirit will set the pace. There is no audience. There is only the union learning to speak in a single voice. That voice will be tender and strong. You are not late. You are right on the minute that was set for you long before this morning's doubts. Time bends for the brave. They bring a story about a promise they made the day they first saw your eyes. They will tell you they felt older and younger at once. That sensation is recognition. Their friends will not understand at first. Some will judge because speed scares the unprepared. Let opinions flutter at the window while you share tea with the truth. Your boundaries remain holy. Love does not erase them, it clarifies them. Clarity is not a weapon, it is a lantern. This revelation changes the shape of your days, not the structure of your worth. You were whole before this, and you will remain whole within it. The union is a garden, not a bandage. Expect gentleness where you once expected fireworks. Fireworks end quickly, gentleness keeps watering the roots. Roots outlast noise. They will ask what you need to feel safe. Say it simply. Then watch them remember your answer with their actions. You will feel gratitude press warm against your ribs. Let it in. Gratitude is the language of arrival. The path ahead will have its weather, bright days, quiet rains, occasional wind. You will walk it together and learn each other's shelter. That is the hidden truth made visible. They feared that telling you would break something you both dearly love. Instead, telling you repairs what silence frayed. The repair will look like mourning. There is no public announcement necessary. Sacred things confirm themselves in private first. The world learns later, if it must. Tonight, you place your palm on your chest and feel a steady drum. That drum is your yes. Let it be heard all the way through you. When the message arrives, answer without theatrics. A simple welcome is enough. Destiny does not need a parade. You will recognize the scent of peace on their clothes. You will see the relief in their shoulders. You will hear the smile before you see it. Your future does not begin later. It began the day you chose to keep your heart honest. Honesty is a magnet for right things. If a test appears, it is not a trap. It is an invitation to practice what you already know. You know how to stay. You will make a small promise to yourselves. It will be something ordinary. A weekly walk, a shared breakfast, a window you open every dawn. Ordinary things become altars when love tends them. The fear of loss softens under the weight of presence. Presence is proof love is not a theory. It is a daily practice of touch, time, and truth. Let the first day be simple. Do not cram it with performances of perfection. Sit near each other and let the room learn your shared temperature. A memory will rise between you, clear as water. It will erase the last fragments of suspicion. Trust will stand where suspicion once stood. Your soulmate will not ask you to be small. They will ask you to be fully you, and to let them be fully themselves. That is how a union breathes. You will feel the quiet end of a long ache. The missing piece was not a person who completes you. It was a space where your love could rest. Look at the hands that reach for you. They are the same hands that wrote unsent messages and paused at doorways. Now they do not pause. You are not required to perform a version of love you saw online. You are invited to create the version that fits your souls. Custom is holier than copy. A soft laugh will escape you at some point tonight. It will surprise you. It will sound like relief learning how to sing. You will sleep and wake lighter. The day will feel like it has more room in it. That room is the absence of constant guarding. Guard nothing against love that proves itself. Guard everything against voices that feed on fear. Choose where to place your attention as carefully as you choose where to place your hands. Your soulmate will keep showing up after the confession. Consistency is their new language. You will become fluent together. A messenger inside you has been standing at the door for weeks, holding a letter no one else can deliver. The messenger smiles now. The letter has been received. From here, let growth be gentle. Gentle is not slow, gentle is kind. Kindness accelerates what should be near. The life you are entering is not a rescue, it is a partnership of whole beings. You become more yourselves together. That is the design. Memories that used to sting will fade like old ink. In their place, new sentences will write themselves as you live them. You do not have to force the plot. You will keep your privacy and your joy. They can coexist. They prefer to. The message you heard at the beginning, keep it sealed within you for now. Share it only with the one it concerns. Destiny is delicate in its first hour. Let yourself celebrate in ways that nourish rather than exhaust. Drink water, breathe deeper, walk under a sky that feels new. The simplest things are the truest. If you feel tears, let them be permission rather than apology. Water feeds the ground where future flowers will open. You are allowed to bloom. You have done the brave work. You chose faithfulness to your heart before the proof arrived. Proof is here now, and it finds you prepared. If your mind tries to list every possible risk, place a palm against your heart and listen again. The heart is not reckless here, it is informed. It has listened longer than your mind has spoken. Hold their gaze when they finally look without looking away. You will see the road you both traveled reflected in their eyes. You will feel grateful for every step. There is one last instruction tonight. Speak softly, move slowly, trust the timing that arranged your meeting and your re-meeting. Let destiny finish the arrangement it started. The hidden truth isn't that your soulmate loves you. You already knew that in the quiet. The hidden truth is how ready they are to live it. You are witnessed by light even when no one else can see. That light has escorted this confession to your door. Open gently and completely. Do not tell anyone. Not yet. Keep it wrapped while it roots. Soon, you will watch your days line up like lanterns on a path. You will walk between them hand in hand, not as performers, but as pilgrims. The destination will feel like home because it is. The 2 minutes are past and the new hour has begun. You are already inside it. Breathe and take your first step. And when your first step becomes a stride, remember who you are. You are the one who waited wisely and loved cleanly. You are ready. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Archangel Michael says the hour has turned, and what was hidden steps out into the gentle light. The shape of your future is not loud, it is precise and steady. The truth arrives like a letter that knows your name by heart. The next days move like a careful procession of small affirmations. Each step places weight on trust and watches it hold. The ground under you answers with strength. Your person begins to speak in actions that do not contradict their words. Messages arrive when they say they will arrive. Plans stay plans and become lived moments. You sense the relief inside their chest, a long-held breath finally released. That release changes their posture and their pace. The change is not performance, it is permission met. There is a place you both choose for the first quiet celebration. The air is ordinary and safe, which is exactly right. Love prefers a table where nothing needs proving. They share the story of their hesitation without asking for absolution. The facts are placed on the table like well-folded linens. The linens remain clean because truth was carried carefully. You answer with clarity that honors every mile you walked alone. Clarity does not bargain or punish. Clarity names the path and invites a companion. Boundaries stand like pillars and decorate nothing with fear. Each pillar supports without crowding. Pillars prefer honesty over drama. Old echoes try to rehearse their lines, then realize they have lost their audience. You notice the silence where the echo used to live. Silence becomes your new room for resting. Your name returns to your own mouth with new warmth. You say it like a caretaker, not a critic. Your person hears it and learns how to pronounce it with respect. Small rituals begin to form without announcement. A certain time of day finds both of you exchanging a few simple words. The words are clean and consistent, like clear water poured. Gifts arrive that look like attention more than price. A remembered preference, an aligned plan, a calendar held open. These are offerings that stay useful long after a bouquet fades. You protect the early garden from unnecessary footsteps. Curiosity knocks from outside the fence. You let the breeze in and keep the noise out. Fear attempts one more disguise and calls itself caution. Real caution smiles and steps back to let wisdom lead. Wisdom chooses measured joy over habitual alarm. You notice the soft light on their cheek as they listen. Listening itself becomes a ceremony without any stage lights. Your story sounds like itself, not like a speech. There is a drawer where old disappointments used to sleep. You air it out and line it with new paper. The drawer holds only what is necessary now. A memory visits that used to sting like salt. It sits down quietly and loses its sharpness. Your body releases the old flinch. You both choose to archive the misunderstandings with accurate labels. Labeled truth loses power to ambush. The archive becomes a library instead of a haunted house. You learn the pace of reconciliation and keep it humane. Humane means no shaming and no rushing. Humane means both hands free of old weapons. They bring a small object they once hid from themselves. The object is tender because it carried a promise they were not ready to speak. Now the promise finds its voice and fits. You answer with permission shaped like calm. Calm is the sound of a door staying open. Calm is a room that knows you belong. Together you choose what story ends now. It is the chapter that taught necessary lessons in difficult ways. You bow to its service and walk forward. Your mornings adjust themselves to greet this peace. The day begins with fewer alarms and more intention. Intention sets the table before hunger arrives. You practice honest brevity during small disagreements. Brevity keeps the heart from wandering down hedged paths. Brevity is love's way of saving energy for what matters. The people who cannot celebrate quietly receive fewer details. Fewer details protect the tenderness being built. Tenderness repays that protection with longevity. You notice how laughter returns like a friend who knows the house code. It rings in corners that used to hold sighs. The air learns the new sound and approves. Your person's courage becomes visible in ordinary errands. Courage looks like a plan kept and a promise remembered. Courage looks like a phone face down during important moments. You choose meaningful beginnings instead of perfect ones. Meaning carries weight, perfection carries pressure. Weight helps you root, pressure tries to lift you out of yourselves. On a certain evening, you walk a familiar street and it feels new. The lamps seem to nod as you pass. The night carries you without hurry. They tell you they are keeping a journal of what they don't want to forget. The pages are not theatrical. The pages are simply faithful. You offer your own list of non-negotiables like stones set in a path. The stones are smooth and real, not complicated. They support both of you without wobbling. Family energies and old patterns peek in from the window. You acknowledge them and set healthy distance. Distance becomes a gift you give to the future. In private, they confess the moment they knew the hiding had to end. The moment looks ordinary from far away. Up close, it changed everything. You both learn the art of goodbye to what no longer blesses. The goodbye is gentle and final. Space appears immediately, and peace moves into it. A small celebration follows a challenging conversation handled well. The celebration is a walk, a cup, a shared look. Success is sometimes as quiet as a nod. Your hands learn new ways to reassure without words. Reassurance is a steady pressure and a patient release. Security likes to be felt as much as heard. You do not count the minutes to test their devotion. You count the consistencies and find them multiplying. multiplication becomes rhythm. A place in your home changes function because you changed. The chair near the window becomes a shared checkpoint. The sunlight coming through names you both welcome. When storms arrive, you do not panic. You close the windows you must and leave others open for fresh air. Prepared love makes better weather inside. Your person tells the truth when the truth is small. That practice keeps the truth ready when it grows large. The habit becomes a culture. You release the costume you once wore to survive confusion. The costume did its job and may rest. Your skin prefers the feel of real fabric now. Messages no longer feel like tests. They feel like hands reaching and being met. Meeting becomes a language of its own. Time changes flavor, it tastes less like waiting and more like living. Living is not a performance for distant watchers. Living is a table for two that friends may visit when invited. You choose a shared phrase that means pause and repair. The phrase wears no thorns. It is a bridge you both maintain with care. The past occasionally throws glitter to lure you back into loops. You smile and continue forward. Loops lose interest when you walk in straight lines. Your work in the world benefits quietly from this union. Focus deepens because your nervous system trusts its shelter. Plenty arrives without noise. You notice your humor softening old edges. Laughter becomes a solvent that releases the last stuck places. Relief moves in with its plants and books. A plan is made that respects your differing tempos. No one must win and no one must lose. Harmony replaces contest as the point. You build a private archive of small photographs in your mind. The archive stores the tilt of their head, the warmth of their shoulder, the sentence that steadied you. You retrieve these images on difficult days like bread from a safe pantry. Your person's earlier secrecy becomes a chapter you can reference without flinching. It is a chapter with a clear ending and honest margins. The new pages do not ghost the old ones. You bring the future closer with simple logistics. Calendars align, keys are sorted, routes are learned. Logistics make love practical and give feelings places to sit. A phone call you once dreaded becomes easy. Ease is not laziness, it is competence earned through alignment. Alignment refuses drama unless the house is on fire. You agree to define emergency accurately. Actual emergencies get care. False alarms get a kind look and a shorter leash. Your sleep lingers longer into morning because the body trusts the night again. Dreams turn cooperative instead of punishing. You wake with a spine that does not predict harm. The object they carried in secret finds a rightful home. It sits where both of you can see it without earning ceremony every day. Presence becomes its blessing. You establish a boundary around your shared story without locking it in a vault. Boundaries are windows with good latches, not cement walls. Air moves and safety stays. An old habit tries to recruit you back into over-explaining. You decline with grace. Grace is a soft refusal that protects energy. Your person no longer negotiates with their purpose. Purpose and love shake hands and agree to travel together. The itinerary grows clearer with each step. A friend who speaks carefully receives a small portion of your news. The friend honors the trust and returns it multiplied. Community is chosen, not defaulted. You notice that celebration no longer feels risky. The old superstition about joy attracting loss dissolves. Joy and wisdom prove they can share a table. You make a mutual promise to keep repairing quickly. Quick does not mean rushed, it means attentive. Attentive means the heart stays within reach. Evenings become tapestries woven from simple threads. A shared meal, a candle, 2 chairs, 1 sky. The tapestry holds even on days with knots. You decide to plant something together. The plant is ordinary and resilient. It becomes a clock for your united seasons. Their voice finds a new register when they say your name. The note carries steadiness instead of hunger. Steadiness is a luxury you both can afford now. You sense the presence that escorted this union, watching with a patient smile. The presence asks nothing loud and offers everything needed. You accept the quiet help and move with it. New memories choose you because you keep the door unlocked for them. They line up politely and file into your days. The house of your life learns their names. You write a small list of shared values and place it somewhere reachable. The list reads like a compass, not a syllabus. You consult it when the road forks. They bring you a story about courage that didn't look dramatic from the outside. The hero was their own daily choice. You honor it properly because you understand how much it cost. A small scar on your heart turns from red to pale. The scar remains honest and becomes a mark of skill. You acquired the skill of staying kind without staying naive. You discover a phrase that means you are both still here. You say it at random times and watch the room soften. Presence renews its own vows without ceremony. Money, time, and attention reorganize to favor what truly matters. Waste releases its hold because clarity removes its mask. Enough grows where honesty farms it. The calendar finds a date that belongs to only you two. It repeats each year without demanding spectacle. Tradition grows calmly and refuses to be loud. You clean a shelf where old mementos once argued with the present. The argument ends when the past realizes it cannot be today. The shelf becomes a platform for things that serve now. Work responsibilities and rest patterns learn their new balance. Rest stops apologizing for existing. Work performs better under a rested mind's leadership. You notice your patience is no longer stretched thin by imaginary threats. Threats shrink when they cannot find engagement. Peace keeps the door but does not pace. The home you are building does not brag. It holds. Holding is the most generous form of architecture. A letter you write to yourself stays short and brave. You thank the earlier version of you for not quitting. You let the current version of you enjoy the reward. Your person's small jokes return without knives inside them. Humor drops its armor and keeps its sparkle. The room recognizes the difference and relaxes. Sometimes the things you both feared you would ruin stand unruined for weeks. You watch time show you that fear is not prophecy. Trust records the experiment's result. You adopt a rhythm of gentle check-ins that do not interrogate. The check-ins are touchstones, not audits. Each one says, "We remain aligned." A threshold appears with a view you both wanted and didn't dare name. You step over it and the view does not vanish. Views like this respect courage. You choose to bless the younger versions of yourselves who made messy choices. Blessing is not pretending, it is reassigning meaning. Meaning becomes accurate and compassionate. A future conversation about home expands into specifics. Specifics remove fog without removing magic. Magic cooperates with grounded planning. On a weekday afternoon, relief lands in your chest like a bird finding its tree. The branches of your life hold without shaking. The bird looks out and decides to stay. Your person finally puts language to what the silence had been holding. The words are simple and complete. You nod and the last hinge stops squeaking. There is nothing dramatic left to overcome every day. Drama retires with its heavy costumes. Lightness becomes the uniform for your hours. The road ahead shares its map one turn at a time. Each turn arrives when you reach it, not when you panic about it. You drive with the windows cracked and the radio low. From time to time, you remember the moment this all began to reveal itself. Gratitude keeps placing flowers there. The path remains open and cared for. You do not waste energy predicting interruption. You maintain what you love with intelligent watchfulness. Intelligent watchfulness is quiet and effective. The face in your mirror features softness where strain used to live. You recognize yourself as the caretaker of a promise kept. Promises kept change bone and breath. Even when the world outside shouts, you know where the quiet is stored. It is stored in shared routines that never felt small. Routines are the guardians of the beautiful. You rest in the knowledge that the hidden truth has become a lived truth. Lived truth requires less noise and delivers more nourishment. Nourishment becomes your definition of success. When others ask where your radiance came from, you do not need to explain. You continue tending what gave it to you. Tending continues to multiply light. Archangel Michael says the emergency ended the moment you obeyed the whisper. Obedience to peace is the bravest act in loud times. Keep choosing it until choosing it is the only habit you recognize. You stand in your life and feel it stand with you. Standing becomes a shared strength, not a solitary strain. The view from here keeps widening. This is the chapter where love proves itself by staying. Staying does not mean stagnation. Staying means evolving without abandoning. The story continues as a procession of steady mornings and honest evenings. The procession is not a parade, it is a pilgrimage. Pilgrimages transform quietly and permanently. Your soulmate's hidden truth is no longer hidden. It has been placed in the open and cared for. The open has become safe because both of you made it so. Where you go next is guided by the same presence that brought you here. That presence wastes nothing and hurries nothing. It arranges the right steps in the right order. You enter the next doorway with your shoulders relaxed and your spirit alert. Alert does not mean afraid, it means attentive. Attentive hearts do not miss their blessings. The page turns again without tearing. The ink dries evenly across the line. You read your names together and nod like people who are finally home. The days begin to braid themselves into something sturdy. Morning light touches the floorboards and finds you both already aligned with it. What used to feel like waiting now feels like arriving again and again. You decide that your story will be written in present tense. Present tense is honest about where the power. Little by little, your environment rearranges to support this new truth. Drawers gain order, calendars shed noise, and the doorway gets used for welcome instead of escape. The house practices being a safe harbor and gets good at it. You learn each other's restoration rituals and treat them like treasures. One of you needs a quiet corner, the other needs a short walk, both of you need kindness. Kindness becomes policy, not a mood. A rainy afternoon becomes your classroom. The roof writes its steady lesson and both of you take notes. The lesson says that slow does not mean stuck, it means precise. Your person brings a memory that once made them wince. You hold it like a delicate cup and place it where the sun can make it harmless. Harmless is a new word you both get to use. You identify a signal that means pause. The moment the signal appears, voices soften and the room listens. Listening turns arguments into repairs before they gather sharp edges. Your phone grows quiet because your attention has grown wise. Wise attention does not chase alarms it didn't set. Peace answers only to the alarms that save lives. There is a cafe that knows your names but not your history. The cups arrive warm like the future you are building. You sit without guarding. On an ordinary Tuesday, an envelope appears. It contains a practical thing you both needed and an unspoken permission. The permission says, proceed. Your feet begin to trust the ground under choices you once feared to make. Trust is heavy enough to keep you balanced and light enough to move with you. Movement resumes without drama. You find a rhythm of work and tenderness that doesn't make either one apologize for existing. Work respects love's borders, love respects work's windows. Both are fed and neither is starved. Someone who once contributed chaos calls and hears the calm in your voice. The calm does not ask for approval. It simply makes space for a short, boundary-respecting conversation and then rests. Your person begins to gather small evidence of consistency like shells at the shore. Messages answered, plans kept, errands shared. Evidence piles into quiet certainty. At night, the room keeps its soft promise. The windows hum with gentle air, and your hearts practice unlearning the startle. The startle has fewer reasons to visit. A decision about the near future settles where once only worry sat. The decision does not announce itself with fireworks. It hums like a reliable engine. You both acknowledge the ways you once tried to perform worthiness. Performance gets released like a costume after the show ends. Worthiness stays because it was never conditional. A slow walk through a familiar market turns into a map of new symbols. Each item that will fill your shared life gets chosen with deliberate joy. Joy likes being included in practical matters. You notice how quickly apologies arrive when necessary. They do not carry humiliation with them. They carry responsibility and relief. On a quiet weekend, you rearrange a shelf and discover an old note. It speaks from a former season with a former voice. You thank it for its service and make room for the voice you use now. Archangel Michael says the protection around what you're building is active, not fragile. It strengthens each time you act like your future is real. Acting like it's real is the same as making it real. An evening arrives with the soft gravity of a milestone. There is no pressure in the room, only clarity. Clarity invites celebration that looks like breathing together a little longer. You both choose a symbol that means, "I'm with you," when words are tired. Sometimes it is a touch on the wrist, sometimes it is the passing of a cup. Symbols keep love fluent. Sleep becomes a friend again. Dreams grow less like warnings and more like invitations. You wake rested enough to choose grace before coffee. Time with families is scheduled like a gentle tide. You go in, you greet, you hold the line of your new center, and you return intact. The center learns to travel. Your person admits the exact second the fear broke like a thin wire. It snapped, and the noise stopped. In the silence, they could finally hear their own yes. You plan small adventures that match your energy. A sunrise, a bookshop, a bus 2 stops too far just to walk back laughing. Adventures do not need drama to count. A quiet financial conversation happens without heat. Numbers respect the table. The table witnesses 2 adults who can hold truth without flinching. You both agree on the difference between secrecy and privacy. Secrecy hides, privacy protects. Protection chooses who deserves a front row seat. When doubt tries to wear the voice of reason, you both check for facts. Facts either arrive or they don't. Without facts, doubt goes back to bed. Your person's friendships shift subtly toward the ones that honor your union. Honor looks like making space, not taking space. Space becomes rich soil. A certain song follows you through the week. It is not dramatic, it is steady. The chorus sounds exactly like the cadence of your shared steps. You design an evening that acknowledges every version of you that helped you reach this one. Younger, hurt, hopeful, stubborn, brave. All are thanked and released to rest. A habit of silent gratitude takes root. It does not need a stage or a post. It needs a deep breath and a shared glance. You begin to speak of the future in phrases that start with when instead of if. The door you used to knock on is already open. Walking through is the only task left. An old fear shows up looking for a fight and finds no opponent. It gets bored and leaves. The room remains unruffled. Your boundaries stop feeling like fences and start feeling like guardrails on a gorgeous road. The view remains open and you remain safe. Safety allows more speed with less fear. Archangel Michael says the alignment you're experiencing is not a coincidence, it is a response to your choices. Every choice is a small prayer answered in behavior. Behavior is devotion. You schedule a day with no goals except attention. Attention finds all the goals that matter. They are simple and within reach. A small key gets made and placed on a hook where both of you can see it. Keys are ordinary miracles. They mean trust, and trust means welcome. You discover you're both good at laughing when plans bend. Flexibility stops feeling like loss and starts feeling like skill. Skill makes life lighter. A late afternoon phone call carries good news that fits neatly into your plans. The news doesn't explode anything, it clicks into place. Clicks are the sound of progress. Your person names the ways you make their world make sense. The list is humble and specific. Specific is the language of love that lasts. You both agree to retire the ritual of over-explaining pain to people who cannot help heal it. Energy returns the moment the ritual ends. That energy becomes fuel for better things. You keep a promise to yourselves and notice the lift in your chests. Keeping promises to yourselves makes keeping promises to each other easier. Ease is earned. The city reveals a corner that feels like it was saved for the two of you. You sit there without hurry. The corner learns your names. A new photograph appears on a simple frame. It's not perfect, someone is mid-laugh and the light is uneven. It glows anyway because it is true. Even your disagreements have begun to trust you. They arrive smaller and leave quicker. Trust reforms everything it touches. You feel a season turn not on the calendar but in your bones. The air holds a cleaner kind of quiet. Quiet that keeps. You both start using the phrase, our luck, and then replace it with, our practice. Practice is repeatable and within your influence. Practice composes the life you keep. On a long walk, a child waves at you both as if you're a single shape of kindness. You wave back and feel seen in a new way. Being seen becomes comfortable. You choose a date for something that used to live only in imagination. Imagination relaxes, satisfied. Reality makes space. The ring or letter or key that once lived in secrecy now lives in sight. It does not dominate the room. It blesses it. Archangel Michael says the path ahead is bright enough for honest feet. Honest feet take honest steps, one after another. This is how a destiny becomes daily. A sudden storm knocks out the lights one evening, and the house fills with candle glow. You speak softly and listen to rain. Darkness remembers it has nothing to threaten here. You both notice that your laughs sound older in a good way. Older like oak, not like rust. Strength with character, not strain with fatigue. You practice the small art of saying, I'm here, in unexpected moments. The words land like a blanket over cold shoulders. Heat returns quickly and stays. A friend asks how you knew it was time to stop hiding. The answer fits in a single sentence. We could finally carry the truth without dropping it. That capacity is the milestone that matters. You write a short promise and tape it inside a cabinet door only you two open. It greets you during the most ordinary tasks. Ordinary earns sacred status under its gaze. Your person buys two of something they used to buy one of. It is a tiny purchase that carries a huge signal. Signals accumulate into story. You plant your shared resilience where even you forget to water sometimes. It thrives anyway. Love has a way of memorizing rain. You speak aloud the schedule of your week and hear how it favors sanity. Sanity becomes a design choice, not a lucky accident. Designing it together becomes a pleasure. A letter arrives from an old chapter and you both read it with steady eyes. The letter no longer holds authority. Gratitude replaces nostalgia and you file it away. Your evenings end with the kind of quiet that creates energy for tomorrow. Sleep is not an escape, it is an investment. Tomorrow keeps paying back with interest. You mark a date that belongs to your beginning and decide to keep it gentle every year. Gentle traditions age well. Loud ones burn out. A neighbor who never noticed you two before now smiles each time you pass. The world tends to mirror stability when it recognizes it. Mirrors offer confirmation, not instruction. In a notebook, you list 5 ways you can protect your connection this month. Each way is practical and easy to repeat. Repetition becomes devotion you can measure. You both practice accepting compliments without arguing. Receiving becomes an art you honor. Honor increases what it touches. When a hard day drops onto your shoulders, the other shoulder appears beside it. Weight splits and becomes bearable. Bearing each other is the quiet definition of home. You start to understand that nothing essential was ever missing. The revelation was not the arrival of love but the courage to let love be seen. Seeing things thrive. Archangel Michael says you have done the brave work of staying present to goodness. Goodness will continue staying present to you. Keep the door unlatched for it. The future does not wait at the horizon with a flag, it rises from the floor of every ordinary room you share. Step, step, step. This is how your miracle moves. Days later, you find yourselves speaking in a rhythm that sounds like a house settling at night, a series of gentle clicks and sighs that mean everything is in place. You smile the kind of smile that doesn't need witnesses. The chapter closes without slamming, the next opens without strain. From here, the story knows what to do. It will keep choosing you both, as you keep choosing each other. Quietly, permanently, beautifully.